Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, folks. Or good morning for me. It's 5 o'clock in the morning right now. Hope everybody is doing well. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to this one indeed. Hello, Tongan Boy. Hello, Shirley. Thank you for joining. So, make sure you vote who you think's going to win, New Zealand or Australia. I've got Australia at the moment. But I'm looking forward to seeing what New Zealand can do. I'm quite excited about this lineup. And Sean Johnson, we'll see. We'll see how it goes with our Sean Johnson. And I cannot wait. For those that don't know, Keanu Kinney is my favourite player in the NRL. I love him. And I'm so excited to see him play. I can't wait. I can't wait. Okay, so don't forget to vote. I will be closing it at half time. So, yeah, I should probably put it up a little bit sooner. We've got 10 people in here at the moment. I'm just going to go through the national anthems first, and then we'll be underway. I'm not sure how I feel about the New Zealand jersey. I know it's meant to be. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a throwback to an old one, but I'm not a major fan of it personally. But it's an interesting lineup for Australia in this tournament. If anyone saw my predictions video, my biggest concern with this Australia lineup is probably the size of the pack. Like, there's a lot of real grafters, real hard workers in this forward pack. But it's a bit light. In terms of your big guys, it's Collins, kind of Angus Crichton, and kind of Mitch Barnett. And then that's it. Like, Yo can make good meters through the middle, but I'm a little bit concerned that they'll get somewhat easily beaten through the middle. I think they can get out of it with the work they do spreading the ball. But I think New Zealand could really slow down the progress. If they don't spread the ball, make the good meters attacking the edges, I think Australia could struggle in that area, like through the middle. So they've got to be spreading the ball. But if New Zealand's defensive line speed is quick, they can shut that down fairly easily. So we'll have to see. It's a decent matchup. It's interesting. As far as prediction videos go, I've been doing this for about around 2 years roughly. This game was the most difficult one to predict because there's just so many question marks over it. This New Zealand team is so different to last season and the World Cup. This Australia team is so different. It's just, I'm back and forth with this. I'm back and forth. But New Zealand's got to get the upper hand. This national anthem of New Zealand is nice. It's nicely done. I did wake up for this game, yes. I've already been up. So it's 5 in the morning. I have been up. So after this game, I'm going to get some sleep. Then I'm out for a little bit. For some family stuff, and then I'll be returning home for the England versus Samoa game. So I will be doing that later. Got 29 people in here right now. Thank you very much for being here. And the votes right now, let's see, 14 votes, 71% New Zealand, 29% Australia. Interesting. Going to bed straight after this so I can watch England v Samoa. That's fair enough. Smart move, really. The smart move. Sean Johnson. He's taking it all in. It's at 3 AM for you. Oh, sorry about that, mate. I'm sorry about that. Has to be done. Has to be done though. If you wanna take in the cultures and the competitions of the other leagues like I am, you've got to be up. You got to do it. Love the old school jerseys. I'm personally not a fan. I'm not a major fan of them, if I'm honest. It might just be the collars. Oh, we've got the haka. I forgot about the haka. I forgot about the haka. It's New Zealand. During the Rugby League World Cup, I actually learned about the Te Iwi Kiwi haka that they did, and like I learned the translation and what like the story was behind it. It's quite interesting. James Fisher-Harris is a menacing individual. Nickel Clockstad has got the face for the haka. He's just got the face for it. The emotion, the expression. Just logged in. What's your prediction for this match? Or what did I have? I've got it written down. In my predictions video, I went with... New Zealand 18, Australia 26. That's what I went with. But my major concern was the forward pack for Australia. I think there's a good chance that New Zealand could batter them through the middle. And if Australia don't spread the ball enough and effectively enough, especially early in the tackle count, deep in their own half, I think New Zealand can really pin them back. And Sean Johnson will just keep kicking to the corners. They'll pin them back and they'll just win the field position battle. First setup will definitely be brutal. It will definitely be brutal. Fisher-Harris from the back fence, maybe. Lindsay Collins from the back fence. Or Patrick Carrigan. Harry Grant. It's a little smirk on his face. He loved it. He loved it. Okay. Just some final drills, final warm-ups before we get started. You're welcome, Donald. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Keanu Kinney, there he is, my favourite NRL player. Oh, what a oh, I love him. I love him. He's brilliant. I hope he has a good game. I don't want to jinx him or anything. I really hope he has a good game. Commentators talking about them targeting Keanu Kinney. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Cody Nikorima off the bench is going to be important. If Nickel Clockstad's not cutting it as the number 6, Nikorima is huge. Well, let's hope that it goes well for Sean Johnson. I really do. I really hope it goes well. And Petek, who's had a good season for Hull KR in Super League. It's been pretty good. So, we'll see how he gets on. I think it could be a very tricky one. If he's matched up against Tabo Fidau, it could be a very tricky one. But we'll see. Sean Johnson just taking it in before we get started. How many place my bet for kickoff? Well, they're about to kick off shortly. Can he have to look for offloads, running support, second phase play? Definitely. Definitely. If they get some... They can open them up on the edges. That support play through the middle is huge. Because the scramble defence from Australia is going to be big. Ladies and gentlemen, We are underway. Here we go. New Zealand kick to Australia. And it's going to be Lindsay Collins with her first massive hit. And there's 5 New Zealand players ready for the first contact of the game. Harry Grant at dummy half. Zach Lomax with the second carry. Backs getting involved nice and early. Getting themselves involved. I like it. Isaiah Yeo with a carry up the gut. Looking for an offload maybe. 4 New Zealand defenders there ready to go. It's going to be a lot of early intent very on. Angus Crichton straight back into Phoenix Crosland, who I actually do quite like. I think he offers a good amount of balance, especially at number 9. And I think if they need some relief at 7, I think he can provide that based on his experience this season. Patrick Carrigan with the next carry. So, coming up to last tackle now. That's 45 seconds gone in the first game. Australia make it to the halfway line. Goes to Moses down the right-hand side and kicks long. So there we go. Opening set in the game. Warbrick takes the first catch. So Warbrick down the left-hand side for New Zealand. Isako down the right. Timoko, who was really good at the last Pacific Championships. Really exciting stuff. Takes the next carry. Phoenix Crosland at dummy half. New Zealand on their own 30. Isako with the next carry. Crosland again at dummy half. In the centre of the field. Nafahu White is starting. Okay, interesting. Keanu Kinney straight up the middle. Look at that speed, bro. Look at that. Go on, Keanu. To Sean Johnson down the right-hand side. He's going to kick to the back right corner, just as I thought. Xavier Coates is underneath it. Shrugs off one. A little bit of space down the left, but gets brought down. Dominant in the tackle. Tom Dearden at dummy half. The Hammer with the next carry. His first carry of the game. Australia currently on their own 30. 2 minutes on in this game. Tom Dearden down the short side left. Looked a little bit high from Phoenix Crosland, but he was dipping. Gets hit hard by Petiku as well. Dylan Edwards through the middle as well. Over the 40. So can they put New Zealand under some pressure at the end of this kick? Isaiah Yeo over the halfway line. 5th tackle. This is going to go right side to Mitchell Moses. It is. He's going to kick through. Will Warbrick's under this one again. There's a good chase from Lomax. We know how good he is in the air. And there's a penalty against an escort against New Zealand. Okay. Possession Australia. About 10 metres out. Okay. Against Matthew Timoko. I hate escorting penalties. I hate them. Because it's so stupid. Just, like, stop getting in players' way. Just let them run. Like, trust your fullback or winger to make the catch. Anyway, Australia in possession. Lindsay Collins with the first carry of the set. Australia's only about 6 metres out. Harry Grant at dummy half, just right at the sticks. Goes into the middle with Carrigan. Goes straight at Nafahu White. He's stopped about 1 metre, 2 metres short. Australia in great field position now. They go left. Moses switches back to Crichton. Gets hit by Papali'i. Move back a couple metres. Harry Grant again at dummy half. Into the middle with Moses. To Isaiah Yeo. Stops. And he's going to have to surrender. Obstruction from Lindsay Collins, so he has to surrender. 4th tackle, sorry. Harry Grant. In between the sticks. Fakes right, goes left. Is with Dearden. Pops it up to Angus Crichton. Gets hold of the ball and manages to sneak through. Angus Crichton. That's going to be first blood to Australia. 4 points from Angus Crichton. There we go. So, a penalty against New Zealand early on. And they answer immediately. So first blood to Australia. Dearden attacks the line. Sean Johnson was the target. Angus Crichton with a strong line. Almost fumbles it, but recovers it nicely. So there we go. There we go. Angus Crichton's had a hell of a season in the NRL. A hell of a season. Fantastic season. Very reliable lad. Very, very reliable. Yeah, as the commentator said, as a sloppy set. It did look like it, but it was a little bit simple on that one. Oh my... Oh, hang on a minute. Oh no. Oh no. Don't you dare. Oh my god, they're checking for a knock-on. No. Angus, don't tell me. They've said knock-on. They've gone with knock-on. Oh my god. I cannot believe he's just done that. Oh my god. He thought he put it down with his fingertips. And the video ref says no, it's a 20-metre restart for New Zealand. Oh my god. Oh my god. So it's back to 0-0. Oh my god. New Zealand in possession now. There is no way. Did I really just say he's been reliable? Oh my god. You idiot. Fisher Harris with the next carry. Oh my. Oh, wow. Wow. Phoenix Crosland at dummy half. New Zealand get over the halfway line. Joseph Tarpany through the middle. Offloads to Keanu Kinney. Go on, lad. Go on. Steps past two. Well, not past two. Steps into two. Phoenix Crosland across to Sean Johnson down the right. Papali'i. Here we go. Phoenix Crosland, dummy half, 20-metre line of Australia. Johnson kicks to the left-hand side. Clockstad is up high. That gets into the hands of Dylan Edwards. He's going to be brought down just over Australia's own 10-metre line. Dearden at dummy half, gives it to Coates. Takes the next carry. Gets a few good metres there. Up to the 20. Zach Lomax next up. Makes about 5 or 6 metres. Grant at dummy half. Short side right to Moses. Switches back to Tom Trebojevic. With Isaiah Yeo in the middle. Out the back to Dearden. Across to Angus Crichton. Brought down by 3. Hiku Papali'i and Sean Johnson. Harry Grant at dummy half. Australia over the halfway line. Short side left with Dearden. Up to Tabuai Fidel. Tries to shake off one. He's brought down. Good defensive work there. I think that was Peta Hiku. It's with Moses. Hits the ball high. It's a decent chase from Australia. Zach Lomax is underneath it. Zach Lomax is ridiculous in the air. It comes up for Asako trying to offload the ball, but Zach Lomax is ridiculous in the air. The Eels, I think, have got to keep him on the wing. They've got to. Like, I think he's a good centre, but the stuff he's done on the wing this season is ridiculous. New Zealand in possession now. Keanu Kinney at dummy half. So with Warbrick with the next carry through the middle. New Zealand on their own 30. It's a pretty intense game so far. Slightly untidy at times. Keanu Kinney with a carry up the gut. Go on, lad. Oh, I just love him. I just love the pace and intent he plays with. I love it. Joseph Tarpany with the next carry. There's going to be 4th tackle. Phoenix Crosland. So Sean Johnson from the halfway line decides to run it. Then chips over to the back right-hand side. Coates is underneath that one. Papali'i is first there in contact. Peta Hiku supports. So almost 7 minutes gone. Tabuai Fidel with the first carry of the set. Just over the 20. So that is 7 minutes gone in this first half. A try choked off for Angus Crichton for a knock-on in the in-goal area. I like that from Sean Johnson. Bit of intent to do something a bit different. Break away from the norm a bit. I like that. Playing off instinct. It's with Harry Grant. Looked a bit forward to Patrick Carrigan, but he recovers it. Australia over the halfway. And it's going to be last tackle. Right-hand side short to Mitchell Moses. Going to get high to the right-hand corner again. Should be an easy one for Keanu Kinney. It is. Tries to run around Angus Crichton, but he's straight into him. That's a big, big tackle from Crichton. It's with Asako. I hope Kinney can, use a bit of his step. I'm hoping to see him, break some ankles in this game. That'd be fun. Papali'i with the next carry. Phoenix Crosland at dummy half. Over their own 30 now, New Zealand. Left-hand side to Timoko. Gets about 10 metres, maybe a little bit more as well. Over the 40, fourth tackle now. Now Fahu White through the middle takes it over the halfway line. Ruck infringement. It's going to be 6 again. New Zealand could be in real good territory at the end of this set. Sean Johnson on the right-hand side. Pops that up to Papali'i. Phoenix Crosland's there from a quick play of the ball. So Johnson in the middle of the park. Now Fahu White. Fisher Harris. Sorensen. Some decent metres, just spreading the ball. Nothing too fancy, but just getting good metres there. Crosland on the 30. Tarpany through the middle, up to the 20. Here we go. What can New Zealand do now? Phoenix Crosland goes left to Fisher Harris. Looking to go out the back, but doesn't. Offloads the ball to Crosland. With Nickel Clockstad down the left. It's going to get brought down 10 metres out from the line. Here we go. Last tackle. What did New Zealand do? With Johnson. He's going to kick over to the right-hand side. Isako versus Coates. Coates is up. That is good work from Xavier Coates. Straight onto it. Taken cleanly on the full. Beautiful stuff. But New Zealand now pinned back 5 metres from their own line. New Zealand just need to be clean. No high shots. No offsides. Just clean. Clean and quick. Lomax with the next carry for Australia. Over the 20. Gets the offload. With 3 men in the tackle to Grant, to Edwards, to Moses, Trebojevic. Shrugs off a few down the right. Good metres from Australia there. It's with Grant, fourth tackle. In the middle with Patrick Carrigan. So Australia just short of the halfway line. This will go again. Right side to Mitchell Moses. He's going to kick through. And that's out on the full. That is good pressure from New Zealand. And that's out on the full. New Zealand again in good field position. So a mistake there from Mitchell Moses. Was put under pressure, but I think he could have done a bit better there. So New Zealand in possession on the halfway line. First tackle. Will Warbrick, big hit up in the first carry. Crosland at dummy half. Into the middle with Johnson to Nafahu White. Great season with the Roosters. Really, really reliable himself. Hopefully I don't jinx that. Like I did for Crichton. So with Johnson in the centre of the field. Look forward maybe, but off to Fisher Harris. To Tarpany. Over to the right with Kinney. Right again with Hiku. Brought down by Tabai Fidel. About 27 metres out for New Zealand. It's with Kinney in the middle to Nafahu White. Only a couple of metres again, not too much organisation maybe from New Zealand. As I say that, goes straight to Johnson. He had no idea he was going to get that ball, but Timoko comes up with it. He's still shrugging players off. Matthew Timoko. Exactly what he did last year for New Zealand. He looked really impressive. And this is a good way to start again. So Crosland in the centre, goes to the right with Johnson, kicks up high to the back right corner. Trying to pin Dylan Edwards back. Brings it down 2 metres out, a metre out or so from their own line. So here we go again. Can New Zealand pin them back? Big hit onto Xavier Coates. That's massive. So Zach Lomax makes about 2 metres, maybe 3. Still within their own 10 at the moment, Australia. This is the third tackle. Dylan Edwards. Over the 10. Good work from New Zealand so far defensively. Yo with the next carry over the 20. Good metres there. Going to need a massive kick from Mitchell Moses and a big chase here. Moses is through. Good pressure from Sorensen there. That's a very long kick. Kinney's underneath it. He's already over their own 30. Up to the 40. New Zealand start this set from their own 40. Good field position. Nickel Clockstad at dummy half. Will Warbrick over the halfway line. Can New Zealand clean this up? And he's lost possession, I think. It's a penalty for New Zealand. I thought he just lost possession. Isaiah was going to challenge it. On initial view, it didn't look like there was any interference. I thought Warbrick lost it. But we'll see. Captain's challenge. Let's have a look. So no hands from Yo on the ball. His foot comes near it. Yo moves his foot. I don't think he intends to kick the ball. Yo plants his foot, Warbrick moves his arm into it, and the ball comes loose. Unsuccessful. I don't like that. I don't really like that. I don't really like that, if I'm honest. But, excuse me, sorry, I need to yawn. Okay, New Zealand with a penalty, into touch. Timoko will tap. On the 30, to Johnson in the centre, with Fisher-Harris, takes the first carry of the set. So New Zealand have an opportunity to put some points on the board. In the middle with Nafahu White, across the Tarpany. Just short of the 20. Crosland to Nafahu White. Out the back to Johnson. Switches back to Sorensen. They're about 12 metres out. Few tackles left for New Zealand. Great chance here. It's with White. 5 metres out, look for a quick play the ball. Crosland goes right, short side with Johnson. Switches back to Papali'i. Met by 3 defenders. Crosland at dummy half, last tackle. Into the middle with Johnson. He's going to kick to the left-hand side. Oof. And that is knocked out by Zach Lomax. That's good defensive work. Warbrick was straight onto that, but Zach Lomax, good idea, just knocked the ball out. I like the penalty. I hate guys all over play the ball. But I don't think he was all over it, though. Like, he had his hands over his back. He put his foot down. And then as Warbrick tried to, like, move his arm to play the ball, his foot was just in the way. I don't think he intended to do anything. So I don't know. I don't think there's any intent from Yo to do anything there. So there was a short dropout attempt. That went out on the full. Penalty for New Zealand. I would like them to continue playing. So they play the ball in the 10. So we had Johnson, Tarpany. So 10 metres out in the centre of the field. Crosland at dummy half. Goes right. It's with Johnson. Switches back to Papali'i. Looks uncomfortable. It's with Crosland. Tarpany. Straight up the gut. Offloads the ball, and it's in the hands of Cameron Murray, who's there to intercept it. Good defensive work from Cameron Murray. God, this is sloppy from both teams. Both teams not looking particularly, let's say, world-class, shall we? Strong defensively, and a penalty against New Zealand as well. So New Zealand's been winning the field position battle at the moment, but that just gives Australia a lifeline there. 25 minutes to go in this first half. Moses will kick this penalty into touch, and they'll go from 15 metres out to about 32. Tom Trbojevic with the first carry takes it over the 40. So Australia will be in good field position. It's with Grant. Now Edwards. Carrigan over the halfway line. 3 defenders in the tackle, but Carrigan's still dragging him. This was one of my concerns, is that some of the smaller forwards might not be able to make the meters, but Lindsay Collins has a bit of space. A bit of space. There's nobody there. Lindsay Collins breaks the line and there is nobody back there. And he thinks he's Ben Murdoch-Masila. Who is this guy? I'm going to put 6 on there because they should get this conversion, but oh my god, Lindsay Collins. Where was Kinney? Oh, Kinney was in the line. Kinney was in the line and going at Lindsay Collins. And here's me saying I hope he has a good game and he's my favourite NRL player. And I've just... First Crichton, then Kinney. I'm messing up careers here. It was Kinney and Crosland against Lindsay Collins. You just can't... I don't know why he was in the line. I mean, if he had to plug some space, like, fair enough. Because the previous carry from Carrigan was massive. but found a bit of space. 1v2 against two relatively smaller guys, one especially in Keanu Kinney, and he just bolts it. Just prime Murdoch Masilla-esque. Damn. Okay, Lindsay. I was not familiar with your game. Alright. So, Zach Lomax, pretty reliable this season with the kicks, generally. So right in front of the sticks. I've already given it the 6 because he should be able to get it. If he doesn't, I think he should just go home. And Lomax gets the 2. I tell you what, Lomax this season has done some freaky stuff. In the air especially, he's been ridiculously good. Like some of the things he's come up with, even like the flick passes, just moments in tight spaces, like Zach Lomax has done some ridiculous stuff. I'm really glad he got the call up for New South Wales, because he did some really good stuff in Origin. And I'm glad he's getting some Australia experience as well. So I'm happy for him. He's had a real good season. I'm happy for him. Every team needs a goal kicker like Tani Mel. Yes, they do. Yes, they certainly do. I just had a flashback about yesterday's game, and I still can't believe just how good he was. Just how world-class Tani Milne was. I know Cook Islands didn't really pose much, but Tani Milne, he's world-class. Okay. So, Australia in possession on the opening set from the kickoff. 4th tackle. So, with Dylan Edwards in the middle of the field. On their own 40. Can New Zealand respond? We will see. Last tackle for Australia. So with Moses, kicks to the back right again. It's wrapped up by Fisher-Harris. Warbrick underneath the ball. And he's up to the 30. Still pumping those legs. 3 defenders in the tackle. Nickel Clockstad at dummy half. Timoko with the next carry. So it's an easy 10 metres there. Crosland at dummy half is Sarko over the halfway line. Good meters again. How are they going to finish this set, though? Keanu Kinney straight through the middle again. Good lad. Looked high. Yeah, it was high from Lindsay Collins. Keanu, look at him. Look at that speed, that intent. I just love him. Now, the fact he had to come up against Lindsay Collins previously to basically allow the try was not good, but he had to go. The fact that he went like full pelt into Lindsay Collins is why I love him in the first place. He just doesn't care, he just goes for it. I suspect I'll be 0-3 this weekend. Cookies, Kiwis and Toa will lose. Good experience though. Oh yeah, was it yesterday you told me that they are your nations? I believe you did. I think. But you never know. We'll see later. England v Samoa is going to be interesting. Keanu Kinney with space on the right hand side. Go on, Keanu. Oh my god, please. I want to see him get some great moments in this game. Come on. I would like to be right about Australia winning. Like, I'd like to be right, but I want Kinney to get some great moments. And Johnson as well would be nice. With Sorensen, 10 metres out, 9 metres out. 4th tackle for New Zealand. Fakes left, goes right, into the middle with Joseph Tarpany. So a few metres out. Crosland goes right to Johnson. Oh, skips just past Keanu Kinney. Can Asako sweep it up? Yes, he can. And they turn over the ball like 30 metres further back than they should have done. Okay. Well, they need to clean this up. Sean Johnson needs to take some firm control of this. A little bit like with Donahue for Fiji. He's got to get some control over this. Good defence there from Sorensen. Pushing Lomax back. Ruben Cotter is now on. Very versatile player. Very versatile. Yes, and born in Fiji. Just a wild mix there, mate. It's a pretty wild mix you've got. We didn't. So Trebojevic is now on the left side with his opposite centre in Trebojevic, Taber Fidel. It's out to Coates. Play the ball on the 40 in New Zealand's territory with Trebojevic, Harry Grant. It's going to take a carry through the middle. And there's a penalty against New Zealand. Late contact, they say. Okay, late contact on an Australian player. Moses kicks into touch. Only takes about 6 or 7 metres there. So they tap 25 metres out. It's with Grant. Cotter. Up to the 20. Only 20 metres to go for Australia. First tackle. Grant at dummy half. To the left with Moses. To Edwards. Switches back to Angus Crichton. Mr. Reliable. Harry Grant. It's with Yo. Moses is jammed into by Knuckle Klokstad. It's a bit of a mess here with the Aussies. And he's going to be called as a knock-on, maybe? Forward pass? Let's have a look at what went on here. So it was with Yo. It's with Moses. Gets jammed into. Offloads the ball into the torso of Cameron Murray. So, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, New Zealand had possession. Steve Price, former Warrington Wolves head coach, my club. Yeah, I kind of missed that. I didn't really see the late hit, but we move on. We move on. So completions, 10 out of 11 for New Zealand, 8 out of 12 for Australia. So New Zealand completing a lot better, but in terms of their actual organisation, in good attacking positions, needs some serious work at the moment. Petticoat plays the ball. Phoenix Crosland to Tarpany. Takes it up to the 40 in New Zealand's own half. Crosland again. Scoots to Kinney. Good meter, slips over. But just short of the halfway line. Full tackle. Crosland to Nafahu White in the centre of the park again. A few big hits in this game. A lot of work already. Crosland goes to the right with Johnson. Boots the ball high to the back right. Coates is underneath it. Takes it clear. Ooh, almost. Just bobbles it. But just takes it. I was going to preemptively say takes it cleanly. But it's with Taber Fidel. Just in front of their own tent. Didn't. At dummy half. Xavier Coates. Over the 20. It's with Grant. Edwards. It's a cross now to Trebojevic. He's got some good leverage on the right. Sorensen and Timoko work together to bring him down. Looking for a quick play the ball. Moses into the middle with Dylan Edwards. Over the halfway line. Into New Zealand territory. Edwards is met by a few defenders. Shrugs off a few. Griffin Neem is on the field as well. Good work from Dylan Edwards. Right hand side with Moses. Kicks high. Warbrick is underneath it. Goes up. So does Lomax. Lomax is so good, but Warbrick comes up with it. Lomax is dangerous. Really dangerous. Kinney steps past Murray. Good pace and good intent again. Good lad. Brought down by a few defenders though. Timoko win the next carry in this set for New Zealand. Penalty against Australia, offside. Australia started to win that field position battle a little bit, but they were coming back into it. That's a big penalty to give away. That's a big penalty to concede. So New Zealand start this set from their own 40. 15 minutes to go in the first half. Petticoat over the halfway line. Good carry. Keanu Kinney's at dummy half. Slow play the ball. Johnson. Neem. Gets over the 40. Another good carry from New Zealand. It's with Crosland at dummy half. Fisher-Harris. Up to the 30. Third tackle. Crosland again at dummy half. Goes right with Johnson. Out the back to Kinney. Jammed into by Tabuai-Fidow. Met by a second defender and a third. Good defensive work there from Australia. Crosland into the middle with Nafahu White. Over the 20. 15 metres out. Last tackle. I think they're going to go short side right. They are. It's with Johnson. Engages the line. Up to Papali'i. Offloads the ball to Kinney. Out to Petahiku. Across to Isako. That is a try. That is good work from New Zealand. That is excellent work. And my boy Keanu Kinney involved as well. Nice. That's a great answer back from New Zealand. That's a great response. They looked a bit unorganised. Better from Johnson. Better from Kinney. Good from Papali'i. Good from Hiku. Good finish from Isako. There you go. There's a response. There is a response. So there we go. 4 points for New Zealand. Good work across the line there. Really good work from New Zealand. Working in those short spaces. There we go. Isako. With the kick to come. Can he convert his own try? This would be huge if he can. Especially from the touchlines. I think, yeah, great hands indeed, Damus. I think we know who would want to take this conversion. I think we know exactly who we'd want on this one. And it ain't Jonathan Thurston. So Isako. Can he do it, Tane Milne? He steps up. Isako. Isako's been watching Tane Milne highlights. He converts it. Look at him go. Look at him go. Never even looked like missing. Never even looked like missing. Look at him go. He was definitely watching Tane Milne yesterday. 100%. Very nicely done from Isako. Reliable player himself in multiple ways. So, New Zealand in possession. Petahiku with the first carry. Looked a little bit high on first contact, but not too sure there. 12 minutes to go in this first half. 6-all. Griffin Neame, big carry through the middle. Big carry indeed. Crosland at dummy half. New Zealand in possession with James Fisher-Harris over their own 30. Knocks Mitchell Moses onto his backside. Goes short side left with Nafahu White over the 40. Just shy of the halfway line. Good metres from New Zealand in this set. Really good metres. With Keanu Kinney. Carries through the middle. Up to the 40. Good lad. 11.5 minutes to go. Last tackle. It's with Johnson down the right. Straight towards Xavier Coates. And met immediately by Petahiku and Isaiah Papali'i. So they're inside their own 10. Tabuai-Fidow with the first carry of the set. Met by Crosland. Still around the 10 metre line. Dearden at dummy half to Lomax. Makes about 6 metres. 11 minutes to go in the first half. It's with Grant at dummy half to Mitch Barnett. Now on the field. I imagine he'll see out the rest of the half. Offer a bit of power through the middle. Scoot from Harry Grant to Dylan Edwards. Shrugs off one. Last tackle. Right to Moses again. Kicks long to Warbrick. I know. Keanu Kinney's underneath it. Go on, Kinney. Just straight at the line. Ooh. I want to see him get a break. I want to see him open up. Keanu Kinney is just... Oh, I love him. So New Zealand in possession over the halfway line. It's coming up to the last tackle now. 10 minutes to go. It's with Sean Johnson. Kicks towards the centre of the field. Edwards underneath it. But again, Kinney needs a one-on-one. Yes, he does. Oh my God. Oh. Give him some space to open up. Get him that one-on-one. Some space to open up. Getting around a fullback. Oh, it'd just be beautiful. It would just be beautiful. But if you get him a bit of leverage on the edges, get him to use his pace rather than not have to use his step, just his pace around the outside of, say, a second rower. Oh, he could do some damage in this game. He could do some damage. And that looked a little bit forward there from Yota Barnett. Referee says otherwise. Grant kicks over the top. Ball's bouncing around. Kinney comes up with it, slips over again, and just surrenders on that one. So a few slips in this game from Kinney. Legs are moving too quick for what his body can sort of handle. Sean Johnson at dummy half. New Zealand in possession just in front of their own 20. Yeah, that pick up from Johnson looked a bit dodgy, but he's knocked on from the play the ball. Well, that pick up from Johnson, you can't trap the ball with one hand, I don't think, onto the ground. I don't think that's how it works. Oh, okay. So he's always got a hand on the... Okay, well, at least I understand that rule now. At least I get it. I'm now a wiser man. So let's hope that that's consistent. So the ball rolls out. Johnson puts one hand on top of the ball whilst it's on the ground. And then picks it up with the second hand. So, fair enough. So they retain the challenge. Fair play. So Griffin Neem straight into Harry Grant. Good meters again. Neem looks pretty big out there. He looks massive out there. An absolute tank. So last tackle. 8 minutes to go. It's with Johnson just behind the halfway line. That's a very high kick. Xavier Coates is underneath it. Takes it cleanly. It never leaves his hand. Well, I know that. But it's I didn't know if there's a rule where it needs to be a clean pick up with both hands or something like that. I just wasn't sure. It's just a technicality, really. But yeah, I agree. He never leaves his hand, but I just wasn't sure whether, based on the terminologies of a proper play the ball, whether that was incorrect. So Australia in possession. Harry Grant at dummy half. Now over the halfway line with Mitch Barnett. Last tackle. This will go right to Mitchell Moses once again. It will. He'll kick high. This is going to be a contest. Lomax underneath it. Knocks on. And New Zealand will have a fresh set of 6 for themselves. 7 minutes to go. Ronaldo scoops. Yeah, I know the common but it's scooping under the ball. It's because it looked like he had downward pressure. I wasn't entirely sure because some rules can be a little bit different in different scenarios. But yeah, I mean, no complaints from me. I wouldn't want that to be a knock on anyway. I think that's fine for me anyway. I just wasn't sure, but yeah. So 6.5 minutes to go in this first half. Phoenix Crosland is at dummy half. New Zealand have possession on their own 40. Oh, that looked forward from Fisher Harris to Sorensen, but we play on. I think there was one from Australia before as well, so we're even. So I'll take that. Niokore is on the field. Fourth tackle. Crosland Right to Johnson. To Papali'i. It's going to be last tackle. Johnson down the right-hand side. Edwards underneath it. No attempt from Petahiku at all. That's going to be a penalty against New Zealand. Yeah, probably left over from Sean Johnson. Touched it. Yeah, maybe. Doesn't move as much as or as well as he used to be able to, but probably a lot more intelligent than he was. Angus Crichton with the first carry this set. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Over the 30. Grant is at dummy half. Ruben Cotter through the middle. Over the 40. Grant to Yo. To Moses. Edwards. Trebojevic. Good leverage down the right-hand side. Skips past one. Trebojevic is through. Support from Lomax. Kinney is there. Oh, Kinney is there, but Lomax, I think, has got that one down. Lomax is there, just barges Kinney over. Kinney almost with something there. So they get some leverage down the right-hand side. Trebojevic against Timoko gets through. Nickel Klokstad can't get there. Lomax is in support. Kinney gets across. One-on-one. Lomax shrugs him off. And gets it down. That's 4 for Lomax. With a kick to come from himself, I believe. Lomax with tight space there. Gets it down. Fair play. Fair play. Stupid mistake from Hiko. Wasted the entire set. Yeah, he did. He did. It's just lost his mind a little bit on that one. Just didn't really focus on the task, just straight into him. It was a bit silly. There you go. Not bad timing, a few minutes to go. Put New Zealand on the back foot going into the half. Can they come up with something? We'll see. There's a kick to come. 3.5 minutes to go. Good effort from Kinney. Again, the hard work, just put his body on the line. Another reason why I love him. But just not big enough, not strong enough to deal with that. I don't know whether he had the ability to, but if he could have just got his chest in front of the ball and maybe just tried to keep the ball up, maybe that would have been easier based on the size comparison, but we'll see. Lomax steps up. Can he add the extra 2? Normally reliable, but this is a tough one. It's right from the touchline, literally inches from it. The ball is just going to be right of the post. That's going to be no good. So it's going to stay 10-6 to Australia. Timoko gave Turbo way too much space there. Yeah, he did. But it's a good fend. Trebojevic is a really rangy player. Tall guy. Probably got some long arms as well, given the size of him. So, fends him off. And Trebojevic is pretty smart with how he uses his body. I don't think he's the quickest player. He's obviously got some pace to him, but he's not the quickest player. So, being as quality as he is, he knows how to use his physicality. So, fair play to him. But Timoko will be disappointed with himself with that one. He'll want to have that moment back, but we'll see. We will see. Cotter with the next carry for Australia over their own 20. Grant at dummy half. It's with Angus Crichton down the left-hand channel over the 30, about 35 metres out from their own line. 3 minutes to go. Grant at dummy halves with Isaiah Yo in the centre of the field. I was gonna say park and field. I was gonna say fart. Or fark. I don't know. I was gonna say something. There's a ruck infringement against New Zealand. Cameron Murray with the first carry of this fresh set firmly into New Zealand territory. Grant to Yo. Straight into the middle again. There's a few defenders there. It's with Grant, Mitch Barnett. Dummies twice. Fourth tackle. The ball comes loose. And it's a penalty against New Zealand again. There's an option for 2. There's only 2 minutes to go. I think they're going to go for 2. It's a knock on. Can the bunker not have a word with Klein? Could the bunker not just intervene on that one? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to add the 2 for Australia because Lomax should be able to get this one, but that is... Oh, that's disgusting. That's poor. That is really poor. Yeah, you don't want to leave your feet too early, tackling those guys with long arms. Yeah, it's good effort, obviously. They had a lot of leverage down that side. They had the overlap. So it was a good effort, but just... It's tough against Trebojevic. But this is ridiculous. Lomax converts to 2 and confirms my pre-change. So thank you, Zach. So there's only 20 seconds to go in the first half. And a carry from the back fence from Mitch Barnett leads with the shoulder into Niokore. 3 seconds to go. Fisher-Harris holding down. Last play of the game. Didn't. Tabo Fidel tries to break free, but he can't. And that is going to be half time. All right. There we go. That is half time. Right. Now it's at half time. Just going to have a quick ad break. So I will be back very, very shortly. Very, very shortly indeed. I do promise you. Right. So, half-time, New Zealand 6, Australia 12. Interesting, very interesting. So, New Zealand hard done by with a penalty at the end. Very hard done by. I would say Australia has slightly been the better team. New Zealand's had the better field position. I think the carries through the middle have been better. But I'd say just based on the attacking clarity, looks pretty clear towards Australia right now. New Zealand a little bit messy. The one time they did get it right, though, was a try. So, positives and negatives on both sides, I think. But I think I would still slightly give it towards Australia. Just about. If anyone has any thoughts on the game so far, just let me know. But that is going to conclude the vote as well. So, 87 votes, 60% said New Zealand, 40% said Australia. Or I think it's 61 New Zealand, 39 Australia. Just a thought for anybody in the chat, because, maybe vote with hearts, not their heads, but for people in the chat, I, as an Englishman, I think that it would be beneficial if England played more games against Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, France, maybe Lebanon, but had something similar to the Pacific Championships with more local nations, but the most competitive games are New Zealand, Australia, Tonga, Samoa. And we can't always keep inviting nations around every year. Obviously, 2026, we've got the World Cup in Australia, so that's obviously a moot point. But if you had all 7 nations competing, would you want England to compete as like an invitational one year, maybe? I think that would be interesting. I understand it's the Pacific Championships, but if England was invited for 1 year, I think that would be fun to see. Be a slightly smaller sort of World Cup, but you'd still have like 8 brilliant nations there. But the question is, they could do it in back-to-back years, so England could start in the bowl and have to work their way up to basically stay in the competition the next year. Because I wouldn't want Tonga to have to move down or Samoa to have to start in the bowl to make way for England. I'd want us to have to work our way up. What international is good? I agree. Lebanon doesn't even get a game in the last 2 years. Yeah, it's a rough one with Lebanon. It's really tough because they've got some good players that can do some good stuff. Obviously, including Mitchell Moses, Adam Dewey, Khalid Rajab, Eliel Zakem, Abbas Miski. There was Mansour at the time during the World Cup as well. But, it's tough. It is tough. Cameron Munster on the analyst desk. Would be good to see him out there. It would be good. But didn't earn a spot. I think Munster's probably having a bit of a break. Maybe injured as well. I'm not too sure. Well, not completely injured, but maybe just a little Little rest, perhaps. How about Lebanon goes up with Toa Samoa for a three-way tournament in England? Maybe. Maybe. I think the problem with that is if Moses is going to keep getting into the Australia team, is like Lebanon's number one guy is just not there. Honestly, Damus, I'd like to start doing a British Isles Cup. England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. Even though some of those nations, they need some work, I think those nations need better international representation. Showing a bit of Keanu Kinney's highlights. Love that. He's in because Cleary's injured. I know, but it's like if he's going to keep playing for Australia, then it's like Lebanon's not really got anybody. Well, they've got some, but it's like I think without Moses, there's just no point. Right, I'm going to take a quick ad break for a couple of minutes. Whilst we're going through the ads at the moment, I'm just going to take a quick personal break myself. And yeah, I'll be back very, very shortly. Right. Okay, folks. I hope we are well anyway. Just to let those who are here know, if you'd like to become a member of the channel, if you'd like to support me, just below the stream, there's a join button. So if you want to become a member, it'd be greatly appreciated. I think if New Zealand can be a little bit more organised in attack, have a bit more of a clue, a bit more of a plan what they want to do with the ball, it's going to constantly be working through Sean Johnson. But we've not seen Cody Nikorima yet. So I think given the fact that most of it's going through Johnson at the moment, I think the best bet is just take off Nickel Klokstad because he's not really had much involvement. Get Nikorima on the other side, somebody that they can trust to control part of the game if need be, and actually have a threat in terms of organisation and run game on the other side. So I think Nikorima comes on for me, personally. If I could make the change, I'd make that. Problem is, England's way too good for those other teams. In the Northern Hemisphere should have their own tournament without England. Yeah, I mean, the way I'm thinking about it is there's not enough Rugby League fans in Scotland, Wales and Ireland, but the way that I sort of talked about England versus Samoa is I want England to face the best Samoa team possible to make us better. I think if we could play more games against those three nations, we can make them better over time. There'd be some batterings, like it'd be some ugly scores early on. But like Wales-Scotland would be interesting, and if either of those nations can improve, I think they could have a decent battle in a few years against Ireland, and hopefully, after a couple of years of doing it, start having some decent, controlled, structurally sound games, defensively sound games against England, and actually build some interest in this region that I'm in. We've played plenty of test matches against France, and Lebanon could pose a threat if they had Moses, but France we've played enough times. Italy, I don't know if they've got enough. They've got a few, but I don't know. I think the main reason Charles is playing in is defence. Scared that Aussie right edge, but Cody, better organisation and attack with his Kiwis. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. If you want to focus on defence, like I understand it. I definitely get it. If you want to make sure that an edge is a little bit more secure, with Nikorima being a much shorter player. But I think it's about time to get Nikorima involved. God, Niokore looks huge. Him, like Niokore and Neem, are going to be massive through the middle. Hello, Tongan boy. Good to see you. Good to see you. So Nickel Klokstad is still on at the moment. Let's get rid of this on screen. So, second half is about to get underway. So, we're going to get underway for the second half. Australia kick to New Zealand. First carry from Griffin Neem. Big lad straight into Ruben Cotter. Neem is massive. Crosland to Niokore. Second carry of the set. Crosland to Fisher Harris. Neem, then Niokore, then Fisher Harris. That's a big trio right there. That's a really big trio. Keona Kinney through the middle. A couple little steps there. Into a few big players. Griffin Neem with a play the ball. Crosland is at dummy half. Short side right to Johnson. Kicks long. Edwards is underneath it. Spreads the ball out to Lomax. Nearly fumbles the ball. Dodgy stuff there from Australia. The thing is, Tongan boy, Damus is from basically every country imaginable except for Tonga. and England, but I'm sure he's picked up plenty of language on his travels. It's like me with French. I know that bonjour is hello, and then that's it. Like, I should know that, and then I'm good. So, what's going on here? Let me get back to the game for a second. So, Harry Grant with the scoop. And loose carry from Grant, I think. So, it's going to be New Zealand possession. So New Zealand in possession now with a scrum. Johnson feeds the ball in. Left side with Kinney. Timoko. Both small. Crosland to Sorensen. So New Zealand only 30 metres out. Fisher-Harris. That's a good question. Deuce, that's a good question. I'll get to that in a minute. It's a very good question, though. With Johnson, Papali'i. Maybe looking to offload, but doesn't. Crosland, at dummy half, into the middle with Johnson. Flat to Fisher-Harris. 3 minutes gone in this game. Only 7 metres to go. Last tackle. Johnson down the right. Feeds the ball through. Hiku's chasing. Coates puts the ball out. Safe from Coates, that's fine by me. So where do you think Ben Hunt should go? I think Broncos. Broncos makes sense. He's obviously, fantastic player. Good replacement for Adam Reynolds. That's a long dropout. Griffin Neem's going to take this one. I want to see this hit from Neem first. Pass Grant. Fair play. Titans makes sense. Broncos makes a little bit of sense if you want to move on from Reynolds and want someone that's less injury prone. Where could he go? Where could he conceivably go? I'll have to think about that one. Interesting. Where could Ben Hunt go? So New Zealand in possession 15 metres out. Near Corey in the centre. To Nickel Klokstad. Timoko. Straight into Trebojevic and Moses. Johnson threads the ball through. Straight onto the post. He's been watching Kurt Donahue. No try on field. Ben Hunt is a Queensland right, so Queensland team makes sense. Cowboys makes sense, because is Jake Clifford going to be the guy? Like, is he really going to be the guy at number 7? Obviously, Dearden's fantastic, but are you going to be paying Dearden too much? Are you going to be paying Tamalolo, Cotter, Drinkwater? Obviously, freed up a bit from Valentine Holmes, of course. There's one. And Felt would have been on a lot of money. So, Cowboys makes sense. Cowboys... There is a world in which Cowboys make sense. Could play hooker. I think he's better because of his age. Maybe. You're probably right, actually. It's just like, who has the cap space? And who would he want to go to? Who makes sense? So, short drop out from Australia. Caught on the full from Jermaine Osako. Good work. So, play the ball from New Zealand on the 10. With Johnson to Fisher-Harris. So, here we go. 4.5 minutes gone in this first half. New Zealand, 9 metres out. Crossland at dummy half. To Johnson. Near Corey. Straight into Cameron Murray. Knocks him over. Here we go. They go left. Johnson Engage the line. Straight up to Timoko. Held up just over the line. Good, powerful run there. If Hunt is willing to take a pay cut for a team like near the top, or that could be near the top, he could be the hooker off the bench. And at least play 7 if he has to. So in that respect, Broncos could work. Cowboys could also work as well, off the bench. So a bit less stress on the body. Do you know what? I'm going to look at the table because I don't want to forget any teams. I'll just look at the clubs. Broncos, maybe. Raiders, not to replace Fogarty. I quite like him. Bulldogs, I think there's a little bit of a possibility, but I think Sexton and Burton's a good balance. Sharks, I think it probably wouldn't happen, but I think the Sharks could do with somebody better than Nico Hines. Personally, Dolphins ain't going to happen. I think they like Katoa and Nikarima. Titans, maybe. Seals, no, not right now. Neither would Storm. Knights could definitely work. It depends if Crosland's going to be the 7 or... But I think Knights is a possibility. So is the Cowboys. Eels, no. Panthers, obviously not. Rabbitohs, they've got Lewis Dodd. I'd take Ben Hunt over him, but Rabbitohs maybe. Roosters, no. Warriors could be interesting. And Tigers, no. So Knights, Cowboys... And I'll float the New Zealand Warriors out there as well, as a maybe. So, as of right now, back to the game for a second. New Zealand in possession. A kick into touch from Nickel Klokstad. So they'll start this set from from Australia's 10. Timoko taps to Sean Johnson, Griffin Neem with the first carry. Phoenix Crosland at dummy half. New Corey. The family stuff makes sense, but it's like you never know. They might think, oh, let's live in New Zealand for a couple of years. You never know. Like the family might like the idea of that experience. So you never know. I mean. You never know the motivations for players, really. Oof. Okay. Ball's out to Griffin Neem, Nickel Klokstad, Sorensen. Timoko, wrapped up by Tom Travojevic. Good defensive work there from Tommy Turbo. Nickel Klokstad scoots short side left. Trying to shrug off a few players. It's going to be last tackle. Gets the ball off. Oh, our referee says held. Last tackle, here we go. Johnson kicks to the right, chips over. Hiku is up, comes to Fisher Harris. The ball is out to Niokore. It's with Johnson. Kicks back over to the right. Coat slips over. He gets back up, knocks on, and that's going to be forward and possession for New Zealand again. Okay, here we go. New Zealand piling on the pressure. Johnson telling him to calm down. Fisher Harris is coming off. Joseph Tarpany comes on. Thing is with New Zealand, the family might be up to living there for a year or two. Is a good replacement for Sean Johnson. They need someone with a calm head that allows like Tamari Martin or Luke Metcalf to work off. He could still be the hooker off the bench as a relief for Wade Egan. He could do all the hard yards through the middle and Hunt's the relief. I don't know. I think it could, depending on what he wants from this point of his career, I think there's a world in which the Warriors, it could make sense. When it comes to the PNG team as well, if and when that happens, there could be some players that just really want to give that a go. Like with the Dolphins, take a team that you've got no idea what they're capable of and just see if you can, see what you can do with them. Just to, take a year, just for a brand new experience. Especially for players that might have achieved a lot already in their careers. So a metre out for New Zealand. It's with Sean Johnson. Loops over the top to Osako. Ooh, he's dragged out of play. Tabai Fidel. Good defensive work. Same with Xavier Coates. Would love to have him at the Warriors, though. We had 5 players in the halves this year via injury. Yeah, that's unfortunate stuff. Really unfortunate. I like Tamari Martin. I do really like him. I like Metcalf as well. The stuff that he did last year was good. So and Tamari Martin at number 7 seemed fairly comfortable. So if they can get that partnership going, assuming that they're the halves partners, I think that's a nice balance. I think there's 2 exciting players there. Intelligent, exciting, with room to grow, youth in there as well. So I'd like that as a partnership. And I think Chancellor Klokstad at 1 offers some more excitement as well. Wade Egan at 9, the same. Very pacey through the middle. Can be dangerous. I think Chanel Harris-Tavita should be playing just low on confidence. Maybe. Ooh, a knock on from Coates there as he goes up for the ball. So it's going to be a turnover. New Zealand have possession on their own 10. So play the ball. Johnson's at dummy half. Isaka with the first carry in this set. So just under 30 minutes to go in this game. New Zealand still down by 6. Crosland at dummy half. Goes short side right to Papali'i. Over the 30. Looking to offload, baby. But he's brought down. Crosland at dummy half again. Into the middle with Joseph Tarpany. Trying to take it over the 40, but he's pushed back by 4 defenders, I should say. 4th tackle, Keona Kinney through the middle. Get him that one-on-one. Get him that one-on-one, please. So they go right to Johnson. Kicks through. Edwards is underneath it. Petiku's there. Good defensive work from Petiku. Very good. So Australia start this set from their own 10. Coates with the first carry. Griffin Neem with a big hit. Dearden scoots across the Tabai Fidel. Can he get around? Yes, he can. Not much more space. Petiku with a big shoulder in there. It's with Edwards. Almost sees a gap. So Cameron Murray down the right hand side. Last tackle. A quick play of the ball. They're going to kick from behind the halfway line from Mitchell Moses. Jermaine Osako is underneath this one. Takes it cleanly. CHT better at 6 or Hooker than 7? I would say Hooker probably. I'd probably make him the 14. If it was up to me, I wouldn't start him at 6 over Metcalf. I wouldn't start him at 7 over Tamari Martin. I wouldn't start him at 9 over Wade Egan. So I think 14 works for Harris-Tavita. Plus, he can play in the halves if needs be. So he's there as like the utility option, basically. So I think he works as 14. So, 4th tackle for New Zealand on their own 40. Tarpany through the middle. Last tackle coming up. Crosland to Johnson. Kicks long. Apologies again. Sorry about that. I'm going to be sleeping after this game, but I will be back for England versus Samoa after I've been out. So Moses at dummy half to Edwards, across to Dearden, trying to get the ball free. Johnson brings him down. Australia play the ball on their own 20. Trebojevic to Edwards, straight at Tarpany and Neem. Carrigan moving the ball forwards. Last tackle, kicking from behind the halfway line again. Left side with Dearden. Chips the ball into the back left corner. It's going to be... Oh, Jordan Rickey's going to enter the field. And they've still got Nicarima to bring on. So Jordan Rickey is on. Niokore comes off. Warbrick with the first carry. Timoko with the next. Crosland at dummy half to Papali'i. Over the 30. A few metres short of the 40. Third tackle. Short side right. Jordan Rickey. Some big hits there to start. Plays the ball just in front of the halfway line. Kinney takes it over. Flat, probably forward to Sorensen. Ball goes right to Johnson. Kicks the ball high. It's going to be a good chase from New Zealand. It is. Coasts underneath it. Met quickly by Jordan Rickey. So, can they keep them pinned back? Edwards. Pushing him back a little bit. Trying to get that slow play the ball, but that quick line speed. Sorensen's up. Onto Lomax. They go right hand side with Hudson Young, who's now on the field. 25 minutes to go. Harry Grant at dummy half. To Isaiah Yo over the 30. Mitchell Moses kicks long on the last tackle. Keanu Kinney takes it on the full. And he's going to run this one in over the 20. So they'll start the set 25 metres out from their own line. 24 and a half minutes to go. Johnson is at dummy half. Warbrick with the next carry. Takes it over the 30. Johnson again at dummy half to Matthew Timoko. Gets away from one. Brought down by 3. Johnson again. Papali'i through the middle. Keanu Kinney with a big carry gets an offload. Griffin Neem over the halfway line. Sorry with the yawning. It is early. It's 6:30 in the morning for me. Johnson kicks high into the centre of the park. Towards the back left, actually. Sorensen is there. Edwards gets past him. Oof, met by Papali'i. Australia start the set. So 8 offloads for New Zealand, 1 for Australia. Wow, okay. Interesting. Trebojevic for the next carry. Sorry again. Xavier Coates. Good meters up to the halfway line. Grant at dummy half. Space to run. Chips to the back left. Kinney letting it bounce. Slips over. A lot of pressure. Shrugs off one, but is met by Tom Dearden. Isako with the next carry. Warbrick with a powerful run next. Crosland to Sorensen. Australia doing well to restrict the meters here. Tarpany over the 30. Just shy of the 40. This is going to be the last tackle. Decent defensive set from Australia. Johnson behind the 40. Should be an easy one for Dylan Edwards. It is. Takes it in stride. Timoko and Nickel Klokstad bring him down. 22 minutes to go in this game. New Zealand still need another 6. Grant into the middle with Carrigan. With Yo, Moses, Edwards, Trebojevic again with space. Timoko brings him down this time, but he gets the ball off. Lomax is brought down by Warbrick. It's going to be a slow play of the ball. It's with Moses. Calls for forward from the crowd. Hudson Young trying to get a quick play of the ball. Last tackle. Short side right. Harry Grant skips past one. Flicks the ball out to Lomax. Lomax gets it down. Zach Lomax. Look at him go. Lomax is great down in those tight spaces. So they go short side. Hudson Young gets a fairly quick play of the ball. Grant switches from the inside to the outside. Attacks the short side. Gets the overlap. Flicks the ball out to Lomax. Fights off Sorensen. Gets the ball down. Good work from Lomax. So that is going to be another 4 for Australia. Well done from Harry Grant, spotting that advantage down the short side. It's what makes him such a dangerous player. And what many would call him the best hooker in the world. I agree. So Lomax with another kick from the touchlines. Unsuccessful last time out. Or the last kick from the touchline, I should say. So 20 minutes or just under 20 minutes to go. It's a big kick if they can get this. It's a really big kick. So Lomax steps up. Swings his leg, and it's just drifting right again. So it's going to remain New Zealand 6, Australia 16. Be a tough game versus Tonga next week, but if the Kiwis win that, I think they can beat Kangaroos in the final, especially if it rains. I think that's probably fair. Sometimes it can be tricky, especially with Australia, and same with Fiji yesterday, with them playing a game already, getting any rust out of the way. That can be a factor, but you've got to be ready for it. But I think one good thing is we've seen from this game, New Zealand can absolutely match the physicality with Tonga. Like, that'll be fun through the middle. That'll be really fun. But they just, obviously after this week, get a bit more of an idea what they want to do with the ball and look a little bit better. But New Zealand will actually have possession now. Lomax is definitely not Tane Milne when it comes to conversions. Definitely not. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think spreading the ball, Tonga, I don't think they've got the firepower for it. And New Zealand, I think, will improve significantly from this week to next. There's still a chance in this game. They're going to need to put up some points within the next sort of 8, 9 or 10 minutes to put them in a good position towards the back end of the game. But they have possession now on the third tackle. 20 metres out, Tarpany takes it up to 10. 18 minutes to go, right at the sticks, Phoenix Crosland. 10 metres out. Into the middle with Johnson. To Griffin Neame. Takes the carry. Make about 5 metres. It's a quick play of the ball for Crosland. Goes left with Johnson. Props that ball up to Timoko. The ball comes loose. It's going to be a knock-on, I believe. And a turnover. So Australia's going to play the ball on their own 10. It's with Lomax. Met by 3, brought down. Hudson Young with the next carry for Australia. Harry Grant to Patrick Carrigan. Not too many metres on that one. It's out to Angus Crichton. Goes straight to Hiku and Griffin Neame. Up to the 40. So, Australia's been tackled 18 times in New Zealand's half. New Zealand have been tackled 72 times in Australia's half. Oh my goodness. Like, territory has been massively in favour of New Zealand, but Australia look like they know what they want to do with it. So Kinney opens up a little bit to the left-hand side with Warbrick, sees a bit of space. Still want Kinney to get that one-on-one. I'm still waiting for it. I'm still waiting. Timoko with the next carry over the 30. So good meters on the first two tackles. Nicarima still hasn't come on yet, which is very interesting. At least use him as like, oh, as I say that, he's ready to come on. As I say that, Nicarima could be huge in these last 15 or so minutes. It's over to Sorensen. There's some space down the left. Shrugs off a few. It's off to Warbrick, possibly forwards. But good meters there. They've got 20 meters to go. Fourth tackle. Nico Klokstad to Johnson, to Fisher-Harris, across to Kinney, to Neame. There's a bit of space down the right there. It's across to Hiku. Isako is going to cut back inside. Moving the ball nicely. Last tackle, 10 metres out. Hiku to Johnson. Chips over to the left. Oh my god, all the space in the world down the left-hand side. Warbrick! Will Warbrick, you naughty, naughty boy. Just turns him. Turns him, mate. That's a try for New Zealand, boys. That's a try for NZ, mate. Fair play. So Johnson with a kick across the field. Warbrick is there. Turns Lomax. And he's in. He is in. And they scored fairly early with the time remaining as well, so they've got themselves 14 minutes to get another one. Well, there you go. There's a kick to come as well. Kick lights on him on, please. Again, yep. So the clock's still ticking at the moment. It has just hit the 14 minutes mark. So 14 minutes to go in this game with the clock still running down. Isako to take the conversion. This is huge. This is huge. Isako steps up and he has missed it. Damn. So, tries are looking fairly difficult to come by in this game. They've been pretty spread out, so if New Zealand manage to score another one, Isako is either got to be right on the money, or they need to score basically as close to the sticks as possible. New Zealand will receive this ball. 13 minutes and 49 seconds to go. Griffin Neame into Carrigan. Here we go. Jordan Rickey over the 20. Cody Nikarima is on, I believe. I'm not seeing him just yet. Phoenix Crosland with a good carry. Johnson is there at dummy half. Nickel Klokstad, Sorensen. Nikarima is not on yet. Not just yet. Tarpany through the middle. Takes over the halfway line. 13 minutes to go. Offloads the ball. Johnson runs through the middle. Sees a bit of space. Is brought down. Crosland is there to Kinney. It's on the right hand side. Skips past one. Bit of space through the middle. Skipping through a few. Gets that ball off. Bounces forward. Johnson kicks it straight into the hands of Tom Dearden. Xavier Coates with the next carry for Australia. 13.5 minutes to go. Mitchell Moses loses possession, but it's going to be penalty for high contact. Australia with a penalty. That's huge for them. They don't want to get stuck. So Nickel Klokstad is on report. Oh, that looked pretty soft. Anyway, Australia tap on New Zealand's 40. They spread the ball left. With Young through the middle. Carrigan with the next carry. With Yo through the middle. Grant scoots. Makes 10 metres easily. Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one from Klein, but New Zealand do need to be better. So Lindsay Collins will play the ball with Grant at dummy half. 11 minutes to go. 11 metres out. And Moses to the left with Yo. Slow play the ball. Grant, short side left to Crichton. Gets the offload. Grant back into the middle with Moses. Across to Collins. Takes it over the 10 metre line again. About 8 metres to go for Australia. Fourth tackle, Harry Grant. Props that ball up to Patrick Carrigan. Grant across to Moses, to Dearden. Good jam in there from Peteku. What's going on here? Is that a turnover? It is a turnover. Good work from Peteku. 10 minutes to go. That's a big tackle. Really big tackle. So New Zealand on their own 20. Isako plays the ball. Cody Nikarima is now on the field as a dummy half. Phoenix Crosland has done a hell of a lot of work. He's done 70 minutes. Fair play, Phoenix Crosland. Fair play. The only bad moment I can think of is just the defence against Lindsay Collins. That's the only bad moment I can think of, but he's worked really hard. But Nikarima at 9 is going to be huge. This is out to Kinney. Tries to step back inside. So last tackle. This is going to go into the middle with Sean Johnson. He's going to kick towards the back left. Lomax is under it. Warbrick's chasing. It's going to be knocked on by, I think, New Zealand first, Australia second. So turnover, Australia in possession on their own 10. I'm pretty sure it was knocked forward from New Zealand there. But Lomax with the first carry. Coates over the 20. Grant to Edwards. Carrigan through the middle. 4 defenders in the tackle. Grant at dummy half. Yo in the middle. Out the back to Moses. Out the back to Edwards. Cuts back inside with a bit of space. Moses in support. Straight to Moses, and Australia put this game to bed, I feel, with 8 minutes to go. Mitchell Moses in support. Good work from Australia. Good spreading the ball. Simple move out the back. Space for Dylan Edwards. Moses in support. Good work from Australia. I'm going to add the conversion as well, because the Lomax should be able to get this one. Kiwis should have challenged that knock-on by Turbo. I guess so. I think they would have lost it, because even though Warbrick was moving forwards, I think when it touched his hands, it pretty much went straight down. So it went behind Warbrick, but I think the ball went straight down. I think they would have lost it. And at worst, or at best, inconclusive. Six and a half minutes to go. This is going to be a 12-point lead for Australia. So, obviously New Zealand still have the chance to play next week to get into the final. But we'll see. We'll see what they come up with in the last few minutes. So we have kicked off. Just need to send a quick message. I do apologise, folks. Alright, sorry about that. Fifth tackle, Australia in possession. I do apologise, folks. Sorry about that. So, Ricky in possession. 5.5 minutes to go. He's going to play the ball 5 metres out from his own line, and he messes up the play of the ball. You can't do that. You just can't do it. So 5 minutes to go. Australia 5 metres out from the try line. This could be more points here. I mean, it's still possible that I can get my prediction. If Australia score down this right edge, it's still possible. Because they need a try without a conversion, and then New Zealand need 2 tries. Pretty difficult, but you never know. I've not been too far off. So Grant shifts left with Moses. Johnson flicks out the back to Angus Crichton. 4 defenders trying to get him down. Crichton is eventually brought down, 20 metres out. 3rd tackle, 4 minutes to go. They go left to Moses. Dearden. It's going to get brought down by 3. Probably be 26-10. Maybe. So it's in the middle. With Matt Burton. Matt Burton is on. I forgot he was there, to be honest. Carrigan. Moses. Last tackle. Tries to kick through. Comes up with Jordan Rickey. 3.5 minutes to go. Johnson. 5 metres from his own line. Isako through the middle. Onto the 10-metre line. Nikarima takes the ball, gives it to Warbrick. Makes a few metres down the left, up to the 20. Nickel Clockstad. To Timoko in the middle. Nikarima into the middle with Johnson. He's going to engage the line. Out the back to Kinney. Passes off again. Kinney has to recover that. It's not been the cleanest game from Johnson. It's not terrible, but it's not been particularly clean. Won't be happy with himself, but he can clean it up for next week. So it's with Edwards across to Moses. Not Moses, Lomax, sorry. I really don't know why I said Moses. Keanu Kinney, run meters 205, top of the list. Go on, lad. 2.5 minutes to go. Still a 12-point lead for Australia. Cameron Murray takes it over the halfway line. Are there more points here for Australia? Maybe they'll go for 1. Possibly. Carrigan to Dearden. It's a little show and go. 30 metres out now for Australia. Grant's there at dummy half. Attacks the line, chips to the back left. Ooh, Isako slaps the ball out. Yeah, rust is definitely understandable. Obviously, he will hold himself to a very high standard, and he will know that he can do better. Like, the rust is understandable, but he'll be very frustrated. I know he will. And he does need to be better next week. So Carrigan with the first carry, 1.5 minutes to go. Harry Grant at dummy half, a few metres out. To Moses, to Dearden. Back to Moses, tries to kick through. Sorensen plays the ball. There's a bit of space down the right. Tom Trebojevic gets the ball off, and that's a knock-on from Zach Lomax. Could have been a try there. Could have been an easy walk-in. Lomax really not happy with himself. Understand they need hooker cover started Nick Reamer at 6. Yeah, I think so. It all went through Johnson, and he just wasn't having a great game. Honestly, just make Nickel Clockstad the 14 next week. Start Nick Reamer at 6. But yeah, we've got 35 seconds to go. There's an offload to Kinney. Just give him a 1v1 real quick. Nafahu White takes over the 40. Offloads to Nicarima. It's with Kinney. Oh, Kinney nearly getting a bit of space. Oh, I thought that could have been the moment there for a moment then. It's with Johnson in the middle. It's with White. Out to Nickel Klokstad. Shrugs off one. Still going right. Skips out Kinney. Goes to Hiku. Offloads to Ricky. Get it to Kinney. Just get it to Kinney. With Johnson. To White. Can he do anything? Where's Kinney? Gets the ball out near Corey. Fisher Harris. And knocks on. Bit of a mess there. Bit of a mess. So, folks, to make this scoreline official, that is full time. There we go. New Zealand 10, Australia 22. Okay. So, to give my thoughts on the game, I think Australia were the better team. In terms of attacking structures, just a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes from New Zealand. All of it pretty much flowed through Sean Johnson. Not much going from Chance Nickel Klokstad down the left-hand side. Again, another reason I would have started Cody Nikarima. Just make Nickel Klokstad the 14, honestly. But yeah, very rusty from Sean Johnson. He won't be happy with his performance at all. But certainly something to improve on for next week against Tonga. From New Zealand, I thought they were brilliant through the middle. Real good carries. Griffin Neem looked like an absolute nightmare. Near Corey as well. James Fisher-Harris, so we know how many minutes he can get through. Phoenix Crosland did 70 minutes. He was knackered when he came off, but he worked so hard. His only mistake, again, was the 2v1 tackle on Lindsay Collins to allow the try, but worked extremely hard. Defensively, for the most part, I think New Zealand were actually pretty good. There's a few times Australia attacked the edges, had the leverage, had the space, got some good meters from it, but I think defensively New Zealand were okay at times. But for Australia, they had a plan. They had an idea of spreading the ball. They had an idea. Moses did a lot of the same stuff. It was just kicking long. But when they spread the ball, they linked up nicely. Dylan Edwards finding the space. Moses in support for the line break as well. A couple times where they were trying to do a lot of the same stuff and they were jammed into very quickly by either Timoko or Petahiku. But when they were attacking, as I mentioned, early in the tackle count, deep in their own half, they looked more effective, which is what I kind of talked about in my predictions video. So I'll take the win on that one. I'll take the win, as well as getting the correct winner in this game. But yeah, I think the better team won, and man of the match. New Zealand, I am going to give it to Keanu Kinney. Petiku is close for some of his defensive work. But man of the match, who am I going to give it to? I'm going to give man of the match to... Oh, I don't know, it's a tough one. Oh, it's actually a tough one. Oh. I kind of want to say Lomax. 2 tries. Some big moments in that game. Who else would you give it to? Maybe Harry Grant? Maybe Lindsay Collins? Do you know what? Lindsay Collins. Lindsay Collins for the try and the work through the middle. I'll give it Lindsay Collins. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. If anyone has any thoughts, please do let me know. But yeah, thanks very much for stopping by once again. It is greatly appreciated. Some consistent numbers from start to finish, so thank you very, very much. But if you've got any thoughts, please do let me know. I'm not too sure specifically for Australia, I think they were all somewhat reliable. and there was a decent workload amongst them. So it feels difficult giving one specific player man of the match. But yeah, I think Collins. Right, so during this stream we've had 9 new subscribers. Thank you very, very much for that. That takes us up to 4,127. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I'm hoping next year to hit 10k. And given that I do plan to stream a lot more, so I want to try and stream at least 2 Super League games a week. One of them will always be Warrington Wolves when they're away, because I go Warrington Wolves home games. And at least one of the Super League game, and I'll try to do at least one NRL game, if not 2 a week as well. And I think that, plus the predictions videos, plus possibly some other content as well, I think 10k is possible. I think it is. So I'm going to shoot for 10k. Because I started this year at 1,200, something like that. And now we're at 4k, which is mad. But yeah, I'm going to do one final ad break. But if anyone has any thoughts, do let me know. But I just want to say to the regulars, Damus especially, thanks for engaging in the stream once again. And I will have a good sleep, and I will catch you later on for England versus Samoa. So for anyone that is still here, 2 things. Number 1, there's a join button just below the stream if you want to become a member of the channel and support the work that I do. It'd be greatly appreciated, for 1. And 2, I will be streaming England versus Samoa a little bit later on, so feel free to join me for that. Well, I've actually had some sleep and be a little bit more vocal, as I will be supporting England, of course. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.